close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Daniel Bailey TV, and we are 2 games away from the end of the season, and we've got 2 massive games for Arsenal. We're away at Newcastle tomorrow, and then we got a game against Everton, and pretty much it's must win. We have to win these 2 games, especially tomorrow's game. Obviously, we've got to win the Everton game as well, but we need to just focus on tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be massively important. If we can get a result there, take it to the last game of the season. Listen, Spurs are piled on the pressure because they beat Burnley today 1-0. So the pressure's back on us, and we've got to win to keep our Champions League hopes alive. Can we beat Newcastle? Newcastle's going to be a difficult team to play against. You know, they've got a new manager in Eddie Howe. Well, I say a new manager because he's been there for months and months, but this is a new look Newcastle side, since their ownership has come in. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tricky for us to go up there and get a result. You know, the Newcastle fans are back in their team. They're a force to be reckoned with. You know, they're not the Newcastle of old, and they're not the Newcastle that they used to be. You know, they've got some heart and desire, and I think Eddie Howe's brought that into them. So we need to actually go up there and be switched on, 100% switched on, because it's going to be a difficult game. And over the season, we don't do well in Monday night kickoffs. You look back at the most notable one, Everton. We went up to Goodison Park and we didn't perform. We embarrassed ourselves. So, look, it's going to be a tough game, but I can't stress how important it is to win. Can't stress how important it is to win. We need to go up there, get the 3 points, take it to the last game of the season, bring it back to the Emirates, and then, listen, anything's possible at the Emirates because, you know, we've got a big atmosphere. We can really make it difficult for Everton. But listen, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough tomorrow, and we've got to focus on getting a result, because the prize at the end of the season is massive. And it's massive under normal circumstances. You know, getting Champions League football is massive. You know, getting back into the Champions League. We've not been there for 5 seasons, 5 years. So it's massive. And then you've got the added pressure of who we're competing against. We're competing against Tottenham, our rivals, our arch enemy. So, you know, the thought of just losing Champions League football in itself is stressful, especially when we've been out of the competition for 5 years. But the thought of losing out to Tottenham doesn't even bear thinking about, does it? It doesn't bear thinking about one bit. So, Arsenal, it's over to you. You need to come out and you need to do the job. You need to get the 3 points. These boys need to become men over the next 2 games. You know, we've talked about this season it being a young team, and at times we've been inconsistent. At times we have bottled it. You know, when we've had top 4, we've bottled it. So it's all or nothing. 2 wins or bust. The next 3 hours of football are massive, absolutely massive. And it just honestly, I got to be honest with you guys, I am nervous, and the game's not until tomorrow night, you know, and I'm nervous. So yeah, listen, this is massive. This is absolutely massive. In some ways, I would go to say this is massive, more massive than the Europa League final because of who we're competing against. You know, back then in the Europa League, at the Europa League final 2019, we were competing against Chelsea. But this is different. You know, we're competing against Tottenham. And when I look back of the season and how the season's gone, and it became clear that Tottenham were going to be our main challengers, I always knew in my heart that it will probably come down to the last game of the season. Listen, this is the Premier League. Nothing's ever comfortable in the Premier League, is it? And nothing's ever comfortable when it comes to Arsenal. So I always said right back along when, you know, one period it was Spurs that were in the ascendancy, then it was us that were in the ascendancy. I said, listen, it's not going to be that straightforward. It's going to come down to the last game of the season. I do generally believe that. I do generally believe, without jinxing it, that I do actually think it's going to be last game of the season drama. You know, I think we'll go up to Newcastle. It's going to be a difficult game, but I do think we'll come out victorious. I do think we'll win, but then it's going to come down to the last game of the season. And actually, we've got the trickier game because Everton aren't safe. You know, they've bottled it today as well. So it's going to come down to the last game of the season. It's going to be who can hold their nerve. Is it going to be Antonio Conte's Tottenham, or is it going to be Mikel Arteta's Arsenal? And obviously, I'm hoping that it's Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. The one thing that potentially goes in our favour is that we were done over against Spurs. Like, not necessarily the performance-wise, because we were absolutely shocking. But in terms of decisions, it shouldn't have been a penalty. Listen, we can argue about the red card, and I get the feeling that Arsenal could use that to their advantage. The thing that worries me, and I've got to be honest, is that whenever we've lost a game, we've not won a game, then lost a game, and then won. Our losses have come in threes. So, like, when you look at the games that we've lost, the first 3 games of the season, we lost Man City, Chelsea, and Brentford. Then Then you fast forward in the season, we lost to Liverpool, Man United, and Everton. Then you look at the recent defeats: Brighton, Palace, and Southampton. So that is a little worry. You know, is that when our defeats have come, they've come in clusters of 2 or 3. We haven't just gone win, 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 loss, win. We've gone loss, 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 win, 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 loss, loss, loss. You get the picture, you know. So that's the one thing that worries me. Having said that, the games that we thought that would be difficult, we've gone on and won. So when we had to beat Chelsea and Man United, we went and won those games, and I actually predicted that we'd lose. You know, I was sat there thinking, listen, Man United, Chelsea, we're going to get beat by both of those teams. And actually we went and beat both of those teams. So look, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. There's, you know, twists and turns, and it all comes down to this. It's still in our hands. We've got 2 games to go. Can we get the 3 points? Certainly tomorrow. Listen, I know we've got that Everton game on Sunday, but let's not look that far ahead. We've got to get the job done tomorrow, and it's going to be a massive, massive 90 minutes. Team news wise, it's very, very strange because obviously Gabriel went off injured, which doesn't help us. Is Ben White going to be fit? And I think that depends on. I think the back line depends on whether Ben White is going to be fit or whether Gabriel. There's a chance that he could play. Me personally, I don't think Gabriel's going to play. I think it's going to be too soon for Gabriel to come back in. Considering he just picked up that hamstring injury on Thursday. The lineup that I'm potentially the back line that I'm potentially predicting will be Cedric, Tomiyasu, White, and Tavares. That's the likelihood back line that I'm thinking. And I'll be relatively happy with that. I mean, the fullbacks are a bit difficult, Cedric and Tavares have not had great games recently, but that's the obvious lineup that I'm thinking. And unless he goes to a back three and he goes to Tomiyasu, White, and it's going to be interesting because obviously Gabriel, obviously there's no Rob Holding. So look, it's going to be incredibly interesting to see what Arteta does. But other than that, I think the lineup pretty much picks itself. So having said that, I'm going to give you my starting 11. I would go with Ramsdale, and I would go with Cedric, Tomiyasu, White, and Tavares because we don't have any other options. Xhaka, El Neni, and then I would go with Odegaard. Then I would go with Smith Rowe and Ketia and Bukayo Saka. So that would be my starting lineup for the game. But listen, it could be Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka could get thrown into that starting lineup. He could be as part of a back three. It could end up being a back three of Ben White, Tomiyasu, and Granit Xhaka with Cedric, Suarez, and Nuno Tavares, or Bukayo Saka as wing back. So it's going to be interesting to see what Arteta decides to do in this game because we don't have an awful lot of options. We don't have an awful lot of options when it comes to the defensive situation. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. And it's going to be interesting to see how we approach this game because we've got to go and win the game. So are we going to take it straight to Newcastle or are we just going to keep it tight, keep it patient, try and shut Newcastle out? Me personally, I'd like to go into this game and get a couple of goals in the first half and then try and get the third goal in the second half and then just kill the game off. We just need to just get the result, get a nice comfortable lead. I don't think 1-0 is going to be enough. And we've seen with only one goal, like what that can do to us. Remember Leeds, we were in cruise control. We were 2-0 up in the first half, and then we had a chance to kill the game off. And then Leeds got that goal, and then it was just a nervy half an hour. I don't want anything like that tomorrow. I want a nice, comfortable win. But listen, this is Arsenal. It isn't going to be comfortable, and it isn't going to be pleasant. It's going to be nervy. If you're an Arsenal fan, it's going to be nervy. It's going to be, it's just going to be one of them. Newcastle don't have much riding on this game, but what they do have is spirit and, togetherness and a decent manager in Eddie Howe with some decent players. So it's going to be difficult for us. We do actually have a good record up at Newcastle. We've gone there in recent years and we've got the job done when needed. But this is a different kettle of fish. Can we go in and get the job done? Having said that, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Arsenal. I think a 3-1 win, get 3 goals, and then they get a consolation goal right sort of 5 minutes to go. That'd do us, that'd do us nicely. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Listen, guys, that is it for my preview of tomorrow's game. Do smash the like button. do hit the subscribe button. I will be dropping the review on Tuesday morning, the day after the game. So do look out for that. That will be dropping lunchtime. Unfortunately, I'm not going to the game because I didn't get a ticket, and it was 8 o'clock Monday night, and it was just a bit of a madness. So I'm going to be watching the game from home, and like I said, 3 hours of football to go in the season, and it's going to be a massive 3 hours of football for Arsenal. Listen, guys, that's it for today. Enjoy the rest of your evening with whatever you're doing. Try not to stress over tomorrow's game just yet. We've still got just under 24 hours. So yeah, do just try and enjoy your evening. Listen, guys, that's it for today. There's only one thing left to say. Come on, you Gunners.